Hi, and welcome to Herbal Expeditions, where we explore all things gardening, herbs, and aromatherapy. Well, nothing says summer like basil. So today I have a recipe that I've kind of created a drink with using basil. And my inspiration for this was basil lemonade that I like to get at Salad and Go. And I thought, I'm trying to cut sugar out of my diet, so much sugar out of my diet, so I'll do a fresca. So it's going to be a flavored water that I'll share with you. The ingredients for today's fresca will be a fresh lemon. Please try to get organic lemon if you can. Ginger, blueberries, of course basil, which is the star of the show, and I have some spring water. So we're going to get started with today's recipe. The first thing that I'm going to do will be so I've gotten some frozen organic blueberries that I am going to, didn't think about it, but I probably should have put on an apron dealing with blueberries because I do not want berries all over my white shirt. But we're going to get some berries in here. And I'd say that I'm probably going to use somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 cup. I'm using an infusion basket that goes with this cup that I'll be using today. So anything that has infusion basket will do. So there we have our blueberries. The next thing I'm going to do, because I want to make sure that my basil is well infused, is go ahead and get my basil. So I have a sprig of basil here. It has about 2, 4, 6, probably about 6, maybe 8 leaves on it. And so I am going to go ahead and take the basil from the stem, from the main stem. And what I'm going to do is tear the basil so that it can start to release its volatile oils, which will be where that basil flavor will come from. And when you're picking your basil, you really it would be optimal to do it in the morning time before the sun gets really hot, because of the volatile oils. We want to get as much bang as for our buck as we can by picking the basil when it's optimal as far as the volatile oils are concerned. So I'm just kind of tearing this basil, so getting the basil put in. And one of the habits that I'm trying to create is one of drinking, number one, more water, but secondly, getting rid of that sweet tooth and so much of the processed sugar, cane sugar. So what I've done today is I've gotten a sprig of stevia from my garden, from my tea, what I call my teapot, where I have all of my tea herbs. And so I've grown stevia this year to include in my tea as opposed to using the cane sugar that's been processed. If I want a little touch of sweetness, I'm going to add stevia. So I'm adding these fresh stevia leaves in, maybe 2 more. I always love smelling my herbs when I'm using them. The next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and get our lemon processed. And like I was saying earlier, if you're able to, try to get an organic lemon, because citrus plants are so heavily sprayed that it would be better to use an organic lemon to ensure that it's not sprayed with a lot of pesticides and herbicides and that kind of thing. So I've done a couple of slices of lemon. I really like the flavor of lemon, it's so fresh. And then last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and get our ginger going. And ginger is a really good stimulator. It helps things move in your body. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this processed. What I'll do first is use the back of my spoon to kind of peel some of the skin off the ginger before I put it into the drink. Ginger has a very strong flavor, so I don't think it's going to take a whole lot of it. I really debated on whether or not I wanted to use the ginger or some cinnamon, because I think both flavors would have paired nicely in this, but I decided to go with the ginger. One of the reasons is because we are studying Rosemary Gladstar's Medicinal Herbs, a Beginner's Guide, and one of the herbs that she mentions is ginger. And so I thought, since we've been studying about ginger, go ahead and give ginger a try in this recipe. I know that this is not going to taste exactly like the lemonade that I get at Salad and Go, but I thought that was a really good inspiration. So I'm just kind of creating this as I go along. I kind of gave it some thought, and these were the ingredients that I concluded that I would like. So I have a microplane here. I'm going to take the microplane and I will grate some ginger down into this basket. So I just finished grating the ginger. There's still a lot caught on the back of the microplane, so I'm just going to kind of tap this so that it comes out and we get the benefit of all that flavor in our drink. And I will screw on the top, insert it into our drink, turn this, go ahead, and I bought some spring water. And the reason I've chosen spring water is because this was spring water that was bottled at the source. And from my understanding, that is supposed to be a little bit better for us. It contains more of the minerals. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this over my herbs. It's taking on the color of the blueberries already. I smell the lemon. I can smell the ginger. I'm really looking forward to trying this drink. I think that these herbs will need some time to infuse my water. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and put the top on. I'm sure it's going to take some time before the flavors start to meld and gel and come together. So let's give it a taste and see how it is. I know that I'll need to give these herbs some time to infuse or come together, so we'll do a preliminary taste test. It is very good. The ginger is quite strong. I think that if I did this drink again, I would not put as much ginger because it has quite a kick. I taste a little bit of the lemon, but the taste of the berries is not quite shining through, or the basil. So I'm going to sit this in the fridge, let it infuse for a while, and I'll bring you back for a final review. Well, it's been about 24 hours since I started my Basil Blueberry Bliss, this spa water that I created. So I've noticed some things about my first recipe. It was really very strong, and I came in really heavy on the ginger. So I made another thing of it that is a little bit different. This is infused about 24 hours, but the ginger was extremely strong. So when I made a second batch of it, on this one I put a little bit more basil leaves, about the same amount of stevia. I continued with the ginger, but I put less ginger and I didn't grate it, because you know, anytime you grate something, there is a lot of surface area, and so the more surface area, the more of the constituents are being released. So this time, instead of grating my ginger, I decided to slice it, and the ginger isn't as strong. It's a little bit more tamed flavor. So I decided that that would be a better route to go. I still have lemon, about the same amount of lemon that I used earlier, and the taste is really delicious. The floral notes of the basil are really shining through, and the stevia, I can taste just a very hint of sweetness. It's not really sweet. So all in all, I would give this 5 out of 5 stars. This one was a little bit strong, but coming back with the revisions that I've made has really made it a very nice and refreshing drink. I sure hope that you would try this. If you should have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer questions. If there's anyone that you think would enjoy this recipe, who really loves blueberry or really likes the flavor of basil, this would be a perfect recipe. So please share that video with them so that they can have the opportunity to make this creation. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.